Hi, everybody. So, I thought I would share for today some of the ways in which I incorporate tarot and astrology into my routines. So, routines have been very important to me. I'm moving into week 6 of quarantine already, so it's been a really long time. And I find that having structure to my days through these routines keeps me very centered, focused, and anchored. And yeah, it keeps me calm. Of course, I don't get to follow the routines every day. There are days, I have days off where I just, I become a potato and don't do any of that. But for the most part, I stick to the routines because well, they've become habits to me already, and they're quite a reassuring part of my day. So, in case you're needing to infuse your everydays with a little bit of centering, then these practices might help. Okay, so the first one is something I've talked about a lot before, but just in case you missed that, my first practice is the daily draw. So every day I get up and I wash up, do my thing. I have some breakfast, and after breakfast I make myself a cup of tea. So yeah, I bring up the tea. I guess it's just part of my. I'm not a very ritualistic person, but yeah, in terms of like crystals and stuff, but I like using everyday things like tea as part of my ritual. So I bring my cup of tea with me, and then I go through this. So if you don't know about this is a tarot journal that I released last December. So it's a year of practical magic, and basically it's a blank journal with spaces where you can write down, take note of the cards that you draw every day. So a daily draw is, for me, it's one card a day, and that card to me serves as a point of reflection, a point of focus. It's not to predict what's going to happen over the next 24 hours. It's a tool for me to figure out like where I'm at. So it's a way to check in on myself. So with my tea, I start my day by turning to my pull, and then I write a reflection. So I reflect on what happened the day before. So I talk about what happened that day, and then how does my card resonate. And sometimes it doesn't resonate. Very rarely it doesn't resonate, but it happens. So I start off my day just reflecting on the previous day, figuring that out, and then I shuffle my cards. So these are my cards, and then I just shuffle them this way because, like I said in other videos, I don't like to bend them. I have a deck that I use for readings that I riffle shuffle because I'm more comfortable, because it's kind of dog-eared already, so I don't mind bending that. So this is just how I shuffle, and then I just pull one card. Ooh. And yeah, that's my card of the day. So the diary comes with stickers. So I just get the sticker and stick it, and then that's that's my daily draw. I leave it till the next day again. So that's part one of my morning routine. Part two is my morning pages. So this is a practice that I learned from my friend Awi. She's also a life coach. You can find her at Your Heartcrafted Life on Instagram. And this is a practice that was prescribed by what's called the Artist's Way. So it's a book that I haven't read, but Awi did explain to me the idea of morning pages. So what I do every morning after I do my daily draw is just write. So it's like free writing, write for 3 pages. Yeah, so I've been doing this since November. I think maybe I skipped a couple of weeks also, but yeah, so this is what I've been doing all through the quarantine. And I think the point of it is just to like unclog your brain of all its thoughts at the start of the morning, so that you free up a lot of space for fresh ideas, creative ideas to come in. So I don't really look back and read whatever I wrote. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with this notebook when I'm done with it. But yeah, it's just nice to get it on paper so that it's out of your head, and then you can kind of start the day with a clean slate. Yeah. Okay, so what else are parts of my routine? I have the full moon and new moon readings, which I do every month, and I post them also on Instagram, but I do them for myself too. So in the diary that I made, there are designated spreads. So every month we get a full moon and a new moon. Sometimes we have more than one, but that's rare. So yeah. So when the day of the full moon or the new moon hits, this is an additional step that I do in my mornings. I pull 3 cards and record them here, and then I write my reflections. And I think it's interesting. Somebody pointed out before in the comments or in DMs, like they told me that it was nice to see how the full moon and new moon like go together or maybe oppose each other. It's just nice to see them right beside each other, because I guess it gives a more well-rounded perspective, since you can say that the full moon and new moon, they cover different parts of your month. So they're a nice way to see how things panned out. And maybe things pan out differently in your outside world, but the full moon and new moon, I think, refers more to what's going on internally, which what these practices really do refer to from time to time. Okay, so yeah, those are my parts of my morning. Sometimes I'm in the mood to play with cards, and if you're following me, you probably share that itch. So I have a collection of cards. I don't really play with all of them. I have gotten rid of probably more than half of my collection. So I have a very lean set of cards now. Right now, I'm kind of fascinated with the Game of Thrones tarot, which I bought in Book Depository. So bookdepository.com. They ship internationally and for free. So they're a good resource. But after I bought this on Book Depository, it did become available in Fully Booked. So if ever Fully Booked opens up again and the malls open up again, maybe you can find it there if you're a fan. So yeah, sometimes I'm just in the mood to shuffle cards. So what I do with that is I usually pull cards that correspond to spreads that are recommended in the guidebooks. So not all guidebooks have spreads, but the good ones do. So yeah, I've been playing around with these spreads, and then let me show you the cards in case you're not familiar with them. Yeah, so I use these cards with the spreads that are in their guidebooks, just so I don't know. So I have a different point of view, and I have a different journal. I have a lot of journals. If you're like me, you have a ton of notebooks, and it's great to use them. So bigger spreads that are outside my daily draws and outside my full moon and new moon draws, they go here in my moleskin. So yeah, and obviously I don't have stickers for all these decks, so it's really just free writing for me. And I write about maybe 3 to 4 sentences of reflection for each card. And sometimes I do like to go back and read this. I don't read my morning pages, but this one I do read. And then, okay, so that's tarot, that's readings for myself. Those are my morning pages. I did talk about astrology. So one way I incorporate astrology is by journaling about it. So this is my creative journal. So every month, my friend Abby C, she does like a list of prompts that you can follow for, I don't know, creative inspiration. If you like to letter, if you like to collage, if you like to draw, then these are nice prompts to follow. And she always puts an astrology prompt there. So that's one way I incorporate astrology into a self-care kind of routine. I always look at Nadine Jane Astrology on Instagram for my guidance. So she's my guiding light when it comes to astrology. And yeah, so every month I get a page, and I just doodle whatever that Nadine says about my sign. And yeah, so that's one way I incorporate astrology into my day-to-day. So you see all the journals that I have. They're quite a lot. And the last is I use my book. So this really isn't a self-promotion, because you can't really order this right now because you can't send them out. But anyway, if you've been following me, you'll see that I've had that Mindful Magic collaboration with Kat of Slow Folks and Kayla of Warehouse 8. So we've been diving into astrology profiles lately, and I find that in writing profiles for people, this has been super useful. So not to toot my own horn, but I will. So the profiles that we've done for Mindful Magic involve someone's sun, moon, and rising. So Cat of Slow Folks creates an illustration that's unique to that person, while I write just a couple of lines, not even poetry, it's really just phrases that I base on the charts that come in my book. So what I did with this book was define or summarize what the different signs mean when they appear in different planets. And if you're a little familiar with basic astrology, you'll know that sun, moon, those are considered planets, and different signs are housed within those planets. And the signs that fall within specific planets mean certain things. So I did a summary of those definitions here, and I've really been using it to create the profiles that Kat and I are releasing for our Mindful Magic fundraiser for COVID-19 relief. Yeah. So, I mean, you don't have to be doing the fundraiser to do this, right? I think one way to practice self-care is to look into your birth chart. So you can check out Co-Star Astrology, just Google free birth charts online, and there's so many ways to get them. One type of self-care is just running through your different signs, your different planets, your different houses, and learning more about yourself and seeing how these astrological insights have impact on how you live from day to day. So yeah, I think this is basically how practical magic is helping me out, helping me form a routine throughout my days. I mean, obviously, I have different other practices that I incorporate that have nothing to do with my business or have nothing to do with the cards. And yeah, I'll include them in the list that I'll be blogging soon. And yeah, I'll have this video attached to it. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I do. That's what I've been doing to kind of stay sane and focused and anchored throughout this time. So I hope that you picked up a couple of tips here that you can incorporate into your own life. Yeah, if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to message me, put it in the comments, or send me a message, whatever. So yeah, thank you for being so supportive of me and of like everything, all the initiatives we're putting out right now. It means a lot. It's so humbling to see community come together at this time. So I want to thank everyone for that. And yeah, so I'll be seeing you on social again, and bye. Have a nice day.